Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel, where I take a look at the classic stars, stories, and shows that helped shape my childhood. Today, we're diving into the story of a young actress who made quite an impression in one of TV's most beloved sitcoms, Leave It to Beaver, and who just as suddenly disappeared from Hollywood altogether. I'm talking about Karen Sue Trent, the talented child actress who played Penny Woods, Beaver's classmate and sometimes rival, beginning in the show's third season. If you are a fan of Leave It to Beaver, you'll definitely remember Penny Woods. She was that feisty girl who could give Beaver Cleaver a run for his money when it came to mischief. She wasn't just another friend. She was one of the first girls on the show to challenge Beaver and make him rethink how he saw the opposite sex. In other words, she was kind of the 1950s version of that girl in school who could tease you one minute and make you blush the next. So how did Karen Sue Trent land the role of Penny Woods? Well, by the time she joined Leave It to Beaver in season 3, Karen had already been acting for a few years. She had appeared in small television roles such as Shirley Temple's Storybook, as well as Wagon Train, and had developed a reputation for being a bright, talented young performer who could handle comedy with perfect timing, something that really stood out to producers. But there was another reason she was brought onto the show. At the end of Leave It to Beaver's second season, Jerry Weil, who played Judy Hensler, Beaver's original classroom nemesis, was leaving the series. Now, Judy had been that bossy, know-it-all girl who constantly got under Beaver's skin. When Weil departed, the writers and producers realized they needed someone to fill that void, someone who could still give Beaver a little trouble, but in a fresh and slightly softer way. And that's where Karen Sue Trent came in. Her character, Penny Woods, was introduced as a kind of replacement for Judy Hensler, but with her own unique twist. Penny wasn't mean. She was clever and quick-witted, and often just as confused by the world of grown-ups as Beaver was. She brought a spark to the show that made the Cleaver world feel even more real because, now let's be honest, who didn't have a Penny in their life at that age? After Leave It to Beaver, Karen Sue Trent continued to pick up acting work, something not all child stars are able to do. Her next television role came on the popular TV western The Rifleman, starring Chuck Connors, and it was actually during the filming of The Rifleman that Karen's young career would take an unexpected and heartbreaking turn. In what would turn out to be the final episode of the beloved series, Karen Sue Trent played Lori, Mark McCain's girlfriend. While filming that episode, Karen Sue was involved in a stunt that went wrong. According to multiple accounts, the scene required her to fall into quicksand. During the filming of this scene, she was actually injured. It was a frightening experience for a young performer, and it changed everything. Her family, understandably shaken by the accident, decided that the risks of Hollywood weren't worth it anymore. Karen was still just a young girl, and that episode of The Rifleman would be her final screen credit. After leaving the entertainment industry, Karen Sue Trent returned to a more private life. She went back to school and focused on living a normal childhood, something many young actors never really get to experience. Unlike many of her fellow child stars, Karen didn't chase fame into adulthood. She stepped away gracefully, quietly building a life outside of the spotlight. And while she didn't appear on television again, her brief time in front of the camera left a lasting mark on fans of classic television. Every time Penny Woods shows up on Leave It to Beaver reruns, sparring with Beaver, teasing him, or just flashing that mischievous grin, she reminds us of what made that show so special: its ability to capture the innocence, humor, and awkward charm of growing up. Today, Karen Sue Trent remains one of those fascinating, what might have been stories from classic television. In just a handful of appearances, she became one of the most memorable supporting characters on Leave It to Beaver. Her quick wit and natural screen presence made her a fan favorite. And though her Hollywood journey was cut short, her performances are still bringing smiles to audiences over 60 years later. Sometimes the best stories aren't about the longest careers. They're about the people who, even for a short time, left a lasting impression. Karen Sue Trent did just that, and that is something worth remembering. If you enjoyed this look back at Karen Sue Trent and Leave It to Beaver, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want more stories about the people who brought these classic television shows to life, consider subscribing to my channel where I mostly talk about the music, movies, and TV shows that I love. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there and have a great day.